Every year, lakhs of students write RBI, SEBI, or NABARD exams. And out of those lakhs of students, only thousands, not even thousands, are able to clear it. Is it that only these thousands of students are capable enough of clearing the exam? That is certainly not the case. If that is not the case, why is it that you as an aspirant have been working hard for a long time? किसी को 1 साल हुआ है, किसी को 2 साल हुआ है, किसी को 3 साल हुआ है, and even then you are not able to clear this exam. ऐसा क्या हो रहा है, ऐसी क्या गलती हो रही है जिसकी वजह से एग्जाम क्लियर नहीं हो रहा है? Today I want to talk about that mistake. Today I want to help you understand the elements that combine together to make sure that you are not just working hard towards your exam, but you are also able to clear the exam at the earliest. तो एक एक करके डिस्कस करते हैं. Let me directly get into it and help you understand that your past failures can be converted into success with the help of these 5 very basic elements. Let us begin. आपको स्क्रीन दिख रही होगी अपने सामने. अब एक स्क्रीन पे मैंने 5 पॉइंट्स लिखे हैं. नंबर 1 टेक्नोलॉजी, नंबर 2 कंसिस्टेंसी, नंबर 3 स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ पर्पस, नंबर 4 राइट सोर्सेज एंड नंबर 5 डायरेक्शन. अब अगर आप एक सीरियस एस्पिरेंट हो, आई एक्सपेक्ट एंड आई वुड स्ट्रांगली रिकमेंड थोड़ा सा टाइम लगा के 5 मिनट 10 मिनट लगा के आराम से बैठो और इस पूरी वीडियो को देखो, समझने की कोशिश करो. ट्राई एंड अंडरस्टैंड these elements in detail, because I will take you to the depth of these elements, and then it will become very clear to you yourself only where are you lacking, what is it that resulted in your failure in the past examinations. And if you are going to write these examinations for the first time, then inculcate these 5 elements in your prep and you will automatically see a change in the way you prepare, in your scores, in your confidence and also in your ultimate final result. तो एक एक करके पांचों को डिस्कस करते हैं. Why is technology at the first level? It is because it is everywhere around us. I am making this video by using a camera. I am teaching you using an iPad. I am telling you about technology. I am also using a basic technology like Notability in order to write everything on the pad and not on paper. So technology is everywhere around us. But even then, it is very surprising that very few of us are actually using this tech in education in order to educate ourselves, in order to prepare better for our exams. And that is the first impediment. That is the first barrier that we create ourselves. It is not our fault. Why? Because we have been trained so far in the last 20-25 years to study everything on paper, to practice everything on paper, to do everything in a very conventional way. But the same does not and need not happen going from here. You can change the way you prepare if you actually want to. And technology can help you bridge the barrier between failure and success very fast. Let me explain to you how it can do so. First of all, it's important to understand that technology is an enabler in your education. You're not replacing anything for anything else. It's simply an enabler. It's like an injection that you give to your body in order to help it perform better, perform faster. और अगर बहुत weakness आ रही है तो ग्लूकोज की IV लगा दिया या एक इंजेक्शन दे दिया. Technology works like that. आपकी प्रिपरेशन में at every level of your preparation, technology can help you. मैंने सारे लेवल्स एक एक करके यहाँ लिखे हुए हैं. When you start preparing, the first step automatically is to start studying and then to start making notes simultaneously so that you can revise using those notes and you don't have to go back to the same long, lengthy books and notes once again. That is the reason, right? In note making, ask yourself, are you actually using online applications like OneNote, Evernote, Notion, or things like these in order to make smarter, better notes or not? A lot of students come here and tell me, sir, I'm not doing that because I have been used to making notes on paper and I do it well. Well, you feel that you do it well. That's your belief, that is your assumption. But what makes you believe that your assumption is actually a fact? It is not a fact because we have not been successful so far. You have not even probably given the examination, so you don't know whether making notes on paper is effective or not. It might feel like so, but it might not be the case. Based on my experience, I can tell you that note making on applications like OneNote or Evernote on Notion is much faster, number one, is much smarter, number two, and you can organize it much better, number three. And all these three combine together to make sure that you're able to use these notes ultimately to clear the examination. What else do you need from note making? And that is what technology is providing us. Let's come to the next one, revision for retention. You're not revising just for the sake of revising. You're revising so that you can retain all of that and you can actually use it in the examination. You first revise first time in order to retain whatever you have read. Then you revise once again. And a purpose of revision is also to make sure that you're able to compress all that you've studied in years into days. आपने अगर एक महीने में पूरा इकोनॉमिक्स पढ़ा है तो वो 3 दिन में कैसे रिवाइज करना है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज फास्ट रिविजन एंड दैट इज वेयर टेक्नोलॉजी कैन हेल्प अस. आप पेपर पे ही सारे नोट्स बनाओगे, उन्हीं से रिवाइज करोगे, इट इज गोइंग टू टेक मच लॉन्गर. बट इफ यू कैन convert all of that in a certain way using technology, then you can revise all of that much faster. So revision में आता है revision for retention. And then comes the second major objective of revision, which is fast revision. Ability to fastly, in a very fast manner, in a very short span of time, revise everything that you have read so that you can actually use it in the examination. You might retain everything, but if you not revised it enough number of times, then you will not be able to use it in the final exam. For these two things, start using flashcards. Flashcards can help us. It's a technology, it's a very basic application, technology-based application that can help us remember, number one, all of that we are reading, and also be able to revise all of that we are reading in a very fast manner, in very short span of time. In fact, this year, just like many other years, one of my students who's got selected, Nishant, उनका इंटरव्यू शायद आ गया होगा, शायद नहीं आया होगा YouTube पे. He told me that he used to use flashcards very exhaustively, and he converted literally everything that he prepared in the form of flashcards in advance. And that worked wonders in his favor because he was able to retain everything that he was reading through my notes. He did not have to go anywhere else, not because my notes are wonderful, but just because my notes were enough. If he had retained, he realized that if he could retain everything that he was reading in the notes that I was giving, it was enough. And it was actually enough. Let's come to the next one. Taking tests for practice. That is what you do. First you read, then you make notes, then you try and revise everything, then you start taking tests in order to practice, in order to see where do you actually stand vis-a-vis other students and vis-a-vis your own standards in mind. In that also, because we have answer writing with us and we also have the entire paper is also online, so there also using technology can help us a lot. In fact, a lot of students this year actually use ChatGPT smartly in order to prepare answer writing in a much better way. I remember there was a student, Adarsh, who came for the interview. His interview is already published online on YouTube, and he said that he used ChatGPT very exhaustively in order to evaluate his own answers. And that evaluation helped him improve the quality of his answers over time. He did not have to rely on someone else to provide him the feedback that he needed. It's like a 24/7 private tutor that you're getting for free online, and even then we are not using it. So that is where technology is helping a lot of students, and they are getting through the examination using these kind of technologies. Secondly, even online apps, although they're everywhere and all the students are using them, if you're not, start using online applications where you can practice questions, especially MCQs. Because if you've practiced them enough number of times online, then automatically the final exam does not look very strange to you. The final exam does not feel out of the word to you. It's just like any other mock test that you've given in the past. And then comes finally the final exam. If you have practiced enough in exam mode, then automatically this final exam seems a lot easier. It seems a lot familiar. If you've not done it, then it seems a lot more difficult to crack. So this is how technology can help you, and this is the first barrier that a lot of students are creating for themselves. It does not exist. They're actually creating it for themselves by not using technology smartly, because आप नहीं यूज कर रहे हो, बहुत सारे और स्टूडेंट्स हैं जो यूज कर रहे हैं और वो यूज करके आपसे आगे निकल जा रहे हैं. Then why not spend some time on adopting these technologies for your future? Let's come to the second major element, which is consistency. In order to understand consistency, it's very important to understand how our brain functions. हमारा brain क्या है, कैसे काम करता है, कैसे उसको improve किया जा सकता है, क्योंकि अल्टीमेटली जो भी पढ़ोगे वो ब्रेन में जाएगा, हाथ में तो रहेगा नहीं, पैरों में तो रहेगा नहीं. If it is going to the brain, it's important to understand how the brain functions and how we can improve the memory of this brain and the functionality of this brain. इसको कैसे smoothly चलाना है. So brain is just like, it's not a muscle, but it acts a lot like a muscle, because you can train the nervous tissues and the neurons that exist in the brain. You can train them and you can exercise them, and when you train them and exercise them, then they start performing better. It is just like any other exercise that we do when we go to the gym, or when we are playing any sport, or when we are swimming, or doing anything at all. Even walking, we are training, we are exercising. The same exercise is also required for the brain to be able to perform better. And in order to do that, we have to follow certain steps. I hope we have understood that the brain also needs exercise just like every other part of our body. But how do we do this training, and how do we do this daily exercise? How do we structure it? If you overtrain your body, आज चले गए स्विमिंग करने के लिए, 3 किलोमीटर 4 किलोमीटर स्विमिंग करके आ गए, पूरे बॉडी में क्रैम्प्स आ जाएंगे, पूरे दिन सोते रहोगे. आज जिम में चले गए, सीधा 200 किलो उठा लिया डेडलिफ्ट में, क्या होगा? या तो कमर खराब हो जाएगी, या फिर पूरे दिन लेटोगे, 4-5 दिन का ब्रेक मारोगे. What are you doing? You are overtraining yourself. या फिर पूरे हफ्ते कुछ नहीं किया, 5 दिन 6 दिन का ब्रेक लगाया, then it becomes very difficult to go back again and start your exercise. चाहे कोई स्पोर्ट खेल रहे हो, चाहे वॉकिंग भी करते हो. Let's say you took a break of 5 days. Now it is a task to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning and go for a walk. The same happens with the brain. If you don't do it regularly, and once you do it, if you overdo it or if you underdo it, in both the cases, your brain is going to suffer. Your brain is not going to give you the performance you need. And therefore, in order to be able to help your brain perform at its best level, you have to give it a daily dose. That is what consistency means. It's nothing more and nothing less. It's very simple actually. So overtraining, just like when you train your body, can result in muscle tear, can result in breaking of your tendons and even bones at times. Similarly, undertraining results in weakness. The same logic applies to your brain as well. Therefore, do not, number one, this is a mistake that a lot of students make. जोश में आके they overstress, they overtrain themselves. When they do that, then they get exhausted, then they have to take a break, and then starting again becomes a task. Therefore, it's important to be consistent and to train up to the right level every day. 10 घंटे पढ़ोगे नहीं हो पाएगा, 2 घंटे पढ़ोगे नहीं हो पाएगा, अंडर ट्रेन कर रहे हो, ओवर ट्रेन कर रहे हो. Lie in the sweet spot of 3 to 6 hours every day. If you do that consistently, even 5 days, 6 days a week, if you do that for 6-7 months, you're automatically trained, and you will not even feel the need to go out there and perform extraordinarily, because you know मैंने जितना पढ़ लिया 6 महीने में उतना काफी है एग्जाम क्लियर करने में. I hope that is clear. Now, what do you do when you study daily for 3 to 6 hours? ये 3 से 6 घंटे जो पढ़ रहे हो, इसमें करना क्या है और क्या नहीं करना है उसको समझ लेते हैं. Number 1, create an Excel timetable with daily targets so that you have some kind of a direction, some kind of an idea कि मुझे आज ये पढ़ना है, और आप वहाँ पे लिख सको कि मैंने पढ़ा के नहीं पढ़ा. Second, it's very important, we are living in an age of very less concentration spans and very high distractions. It's very important that you create an environment for yourself where distraction is zero and maximum and focus is maximum. Because if that is not the case, if that doesn't happen, and if you're sitting for 3 hours, you're actually studying for only 30 minutes and you're wasting 2.5 hours. Happens with me also all the time. I have to create separate rooms where I can go early in the morning or late at night and study in peace. If I don't do that, then I feel very anxious inside and I'm not up to my maximum potential. I feel anxious, I feel dissatisfied. That makes me frustrated. I'm sure it happens with the students also very often. And the key to that is very simple. Create an environment for yourself where the distraction is zero, where the focus is maximum. अपना phone side में रखो, फेंक दो उसको, रखने की भी जरूरत नहीं है. That is how minimally important it is for you at that point, because it's about your success, your entire career. And the third thing that you need to do in order to maintain this study routine of daily study routine of 3 to 6 hours is to create an accountability mechanism for non-achievement, wherein if you're not able to achieve any of your targets जो आपने यहाँ पे बनाए हैं, then you start holding yourself accountable. You actually feel bad about not achieving it, and you tell yourself, tomorrow I will achieve this also, the pending work also. That is how an accountability mechanism keeps you on your toes. And when you're on your toes, automatically you perform a lot better because you're concerned about your performance. You're not in a very free zone. You're not too relaxed. You're not overstressed. At the same time, you're not too relaxed also. That is the second point. Let's come to the third point, which is more psychological in nature, a sense of strong purpose. It's very important that you're clear as a student, why are you doing it? The reason can be very basic, the reason can be very deep, the reason can be very superficial, it doesn't matter. But what matters is your awareness about that decision, your awareness about that reason. Why am I doing it? I'm doing it just because I want a government job where I can relax, I can work a little less, I have security and safety of income in my life. That's my reason. It's very important to be aware about your reason and to accept your reason the way it is. That automatically will give you a strong sense of purpose, and that strong sense of purpose will take you through the examination, and जो भी hurdle आएंगे वो उनको solve करने में आसानी होगी. In addition to a strong purpose, if you have more specific goals and targets, तो आपका sense of purpose और ज़्यादा strong हो जाता है, या फिर कहीं पे क्लैरिटी नहीं होती है तो वो क्लैरिटी आने के चांसेस बढ़ जाते हैं. सो क्रिएट फॉर योरसेल्फ अ स्पेसिफिक सेट ऑफ गोल. जैसे मेरा गोल रहा है कि यार ऑल इंडिया रैंक 1 2 3 मुझे आरबीआई में इस एग्जाम में, इस ईयर के एग्जाम में मेरा टारगेट है कि मैं जो पढ़ा रहा हूँ स्टूडेंट्स को वहां से मुझे निकालना है. इस साल ऑल इंडिया रैंक 1 मेरा स्टूडेंट आया है, बट अभी भी मैं सेटिस्फाइड नहीं हूँ क्योंकि मेरा गोल बहुत स्पेसिफिक है. रैंक 1 2 3 मुझे निकालना है मेरे स्टूडेंट्स में से, and I am working towards that this year also. This year I have changed the way I prepare students क्योंकि मुझे चाहिए कि यार रैंक 1 2 3 निकालना है, रैंक 1 is not enough. That is a very specific goal. And then I will create more specific weekly, fortnightly, monthly targets in order to achieve that goal. So goal makes your purpose even stronger because आप specificity वहाँ पे लेके आ रहे हो. And it's very important to get rid of comparison. Comparison आता है confusion से. जब confused नहीं होगे तो compare करना छोड़ दोगे. जब under confident नहीं होगे तो comparison करना छोड़ दोगे. Under confidence आता है less preparation से. Less preparation क्यों हो रही है? क्योंकि sense of purpose strong नहीं है, इसीलिए preparation कम है. So when you start preparing more, when you have a strong sense of purpose, then you automatically will start comparing less because you're very confident about what you're doing, you're less confused, you have more clarity in what you're doing. Therefore, have a strong sense of purpose, sit with yourself for a while and create that if you don't have it yet. Let's come to the fourth point, which is right sources. अब ये थोड़ा underestimated सा है, या फिर ऐसा लगता है कि जब हम तैयारी शुरू करते हैं तो हम सबसे पहले right sources पे चले जाते हैं और ऊपर वाले भी भूल गए, नीचे वाले भी भूल गए, सारे steps भूल गए. But this is the fourth step and this has to come at the fourth point only. पहले ऊपर वाले पॉइंट्स आपके क्लियर होने चाहिए, आपकी मेथड क्लियर होना चाहिए, कैसे मुझे करना है, देन यू कम एट द राइट सोर्सेज। मैंने कुछ सोर्सेज लिखे हैं विच आर स्पेसिफिक टू आरबीआई, सेबी और नाबार्ड एग्जाम, बट सोर्सेज की जगह मैंने ये बताया है कि सोर्सेज चूज कैसे करना है। फॉर ऑल दी 3 एग्जाम्स देयर इज अ सर्टेन वे दैट यू ट्राई एंड फिगर आउट द बेस्ट सोर्स फॉर योर प्रिपरेशन। कुछ एग्जांपल्स दे लेता हूं। अगर फेज 1 की बात करते हैं, इफ यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर आरबीआई देन द लेवल ऑफ आरबीआई इज मच हायर देन बैंक एग्जाम्स। तो क्वांट रीजनिंग इंग्लिश के लिए इफ आई स्टार्ट रिलाइंग ऑन टीचर्स हु आर प्रिपेयरिंग अस फॉर बैंकिंग, तो मेरा नहीं होने वाला है सिलेक्शन, मुझे पता है, तो इसलिए मैं उनके पास नहीं जाना चाहूंगा। बट इफ आई एम प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर नाबार्ड और सेबी एग्जाम, जहां पे क्यूआरई जो है वो क्वालिफाइंग है, तो मैं बैंकिंग लेवल के जो टीचर्स हैं उनसे पढ़ना चाहूंगा, बिकॉज आई नो दे कैन हेल्प मी। बट अगर मैं आरबीआई की तैयारी कर रहा हूं, तो मैं अब कैट की तैयारी कर रहे हो तो बैंकिंग स्टूडेंट टीचर से नहीं पढ़ोगे ना। ऐसे ही आरबीआई की तैयारी कर रहे हो तो बैंकिंग टीचर से पढ़ने का कोई फायदा नहीं है। इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू हेल्प यू मच, और ज्यादा कंफ्यूज हो जाओगे और ज्यादा टाइम वेस्ट होगा। सिमिलरली जनरल अवेयरनेस की अगर बात करें फेज 1 में, अगर आरबीआई सेबी नाबार्ड की एग्जाम की तैयारी कर रहे हो, फाइंड सोर्सेज दैट आर स्पेसिफिक टू दीज एग्जाम्स, बिकॉज बैंकिंग एग्जाम्स में जो जनरल अवेयरनेस के सोर्सेज आते हैं दोज आर नॉट वेरी हेल्पफुल इन दीज 3 एग्जाम्स। तो मैं क्यों अपना टाइम वेस्ट करूं? लेट मी फाइंड सोर्सेज which are specific to these exams. Similarly, phase 2 में आओगे ESI, finance, management, ARD. Either you find specific books and online sources that can help you complete your syllabus, or you find a guidance, a guide like me who can also help you, who can provide you the same, help you complete the syllabus through that guidance. इन दोनों में से कोई एक उठा सकते हो। थर्ड, करंट अफेयर्स में आए अगर हम, तो करंट अफेयर्स में भी जो भी आपके करंट अफेयर सोर्सेज है विच आर स्पेसिफिक टू आरबीआई, सेबी और नाबार्ड एग्जाम, स्टिक विद दोज सोर्सेज। अगर उसकी जगह बैंक एग्जाम, कैट एग्जाम, यूपीएससी एग्जाम, इनके सोर्सेज उठाओगे, ऑटोमेटिकली यू विल गेट कंफ्यूज्ड। क्यों कंफ्यूज हो गए? क्योंकि यार वो आरबीआई एग्जाम के लिए, सेबी एग्जाम के लिए, नाबार्ड एग्जाम के लिए बने ही नहीं। जब वो उन एग्जाम्स के लिए बने ही नहीं है तो ऑटोमेटिकली परेशान होने ही वाले हो। आई होप दैट मेक्स सेंस। Let us now come to the fifth and final element which can transform our failure to success, जो हमको ट्रांसफॉर्म करने में हेल्प कर सकता है, हमारी प्रिपरेशन को ट्रांसफॉर्म करने में हेल्प कर सकता है। एंड दिस पॉइंट इज डायरेक्शन। व्हाई इज इट एट द 5th लेवल? क्योंकि अगर फर्स्ट 4 एलिमेंट्स कंप्लीट नहीं करोगे तो 5th काम नहीं करेगा। 5th काम तभी करेगा जब आपको क्लैरिटी हो फर्स्ट 4 की। डायरेक्शन का मतलब होता है अ गाइड लाइक मी or anyone else who you trust, who you believe in, who you feel can help you clear the examination. उस गाइड के हेल्प से आपको क्या क्या मिलेगा, डायरेक्शन में क्या क्या आता है। सबसे पहले मैं आपको क्लैरिफाई कर सकता हूं कि भाई कैसे पढ़ना है। मैं आपको क्लैरिफाई कर सकता हूं क्या पढ़ना है, इस हफ्ते क्या पढ़ना है। पिछले 4 महीने से इन द लास्ट 4 months I have been giving weekly targets to my enrolled students. That is how I am directing them. I can tell them what not to study, क्या नहीं पढ़ना है या कैसे नहीं पढ़ना है, how not to study, how to make notes for fast revision. जैसे इस week, tomorrow, the session that I have with my enrolled students, I have created a specific session on how to make notes for fast revision, और वो मैं 2 घंटे प्रैक्टिस करा के उनको समझाऊंगा। Metrics of performance, आप जो भी पढ़ रहे हो, हाउ कैन यू कन्वर्ट ऑल ऑफ दैट इनटू एक्चुअल परफॉर्मेंस इन द एग्जाम इन टर्म्स ऑफ मार्क्स। वो मेट्रिक्स क्या है परफॉर्मेंस के, वो मैं बताता हूं उनको रेगुलरली। दिस इज व्हाट डायरेक्शन इज। प्लान ऑफ एक्शन फॉर द नेक्स्ट 6 months, अगले 6 महीने में आपको क्या करना है, कैसे पढ़ना है, क्या नहीं पढ़ना है, वो सब मैं आपको बताता हूं। सो आई ऑल्सो क्रिएट अ प्लान ऑफ एक्शन। सो एवरी गाइड, हुएवर यू चूज, दैट इज हिज जॉब, ये उसका काम है, ये करना जरूरी है। अब मेट्रिक्स ऑफ परफॉर्मेंस में अगर मैं एक एग्जांपल दूं, I have been working on active recall with my students in the past almost 1 month, more than a month. और इस एक महीने में जब हमने 10 बार 15 बार ऐसे प्रैक्टिस करा है ना, डेली बैठ के, रेगुलरली बैठ के, तब जाके बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स को समझ आया अच्छा एक्टिव रिकॉल ऐसे होता है। एक्टिव रिकॉल से इस तरह से you can write a better answer. So I am creating a metric of performance by telling them how to convert their notes into active recall, and then how to convert active recall into good scores through a good answer in the final exam. So that is my job. That is the job of direction. That is what a guide can help you with, a guide can provide you. So these are the 5 major elements. I'm very sure ये पांचों elements use करके you can try and convert your hard work into actual performance in the examination in the form of success, in the form of your name in the list of ranks in this year's RBI, SEBI or NABARD exam. I'll see you very soon. If you have any doubts, put it down in the comment section below. Till then, keep studying hard. All the best. Jai Hind.